practice some just very basic proofs just to get the hang of the structure that we are going to be focusing on for proofs, and to practice some of the rules that we are able to use that we learned during the first unit of the course. So we're just going to be doing some two-step proofs. All of our proofs that we're doing on this worksheet are a 2-column proof, where you're going to see a vertical line and a horizontal line kind of dividing your proof up. On the left side, you write your statements, and on the right side is where we write the reasons for each statement. In a proof, you are going to have a given information and a thing that you're trying to prove. And because we have that information, we are going to have 3 spots of our proof that we are going to be able to fill in just from that information that they're providing us. I like to call these the freebies. Those freebies are the thing that is telling you in the given will generally be the first statement of the proof. So we're going to practice writing that down. The first reason will always be given because that item was given to you. And the third freebie is the thing that you're trying to prove. So that will go always as your last statement. And on this page, the last statement is the second one, so it'll always be the second statement. Now, that empty spot of the proof is going to be something from the reason bank that I have provided at the top of the page. These are definitions of vocabulary words, or they are rules that we learned in the first unit, such as segment addition postulate, or the fact that vertical angles are congruent, or linear pair postulate, which states that if you have a linear pair of angles, that they're supplementary. So we're going to practice identifying these in proofs today. So I'm going to do a couple of these with you and ask that you just try the others out for getting ready for proofs. So the first reason is always, the first statement is always what they gave to us. And I like to abbreviate midpoint. I just put MIDPT. You'll see several things that I will abbreviate on here. And I'm going to say the reason is given because they told us that. We're trying to prove that AM is congruent to MB, and we need proper notation, so be sure that you always copy what you're trying to prove exactly like they had printed it. And so the reason we're going to decide here is going to come from a combination of our image and our given information. If M is the midpoint, and if we look at this picture, we can see that we have a line segment. And if M is the midpoint of it, then that breaks it into 2 congruent parts because we know the definition of the word midpoint. And that is what the midpoint definition says. So our reason, coming from the reason bank, is going to be the definition of the word midpoint. Since we're told we have a midpoint, we can apply the definition of it to know that that'll be the reason here. So definition of midpoint. Any of our vocabulary words definitions are acceptable as reasons. Let's look at the second one together as well. So again, to look through our freebies, we have given information that we're going to write in the first statement. The first reason will be given because they told us that. And some of the given information on this worksheet are things that we can know from looking at the picture that we won't necessarily be told in the future. But in order to make some very basic proofs, I had to make the given occasionally something that was very basic. What we're trying to prove always goes in our last statement, but prove and proven is never a reason. So you don't ever want to put that into that last blank. So we're going to go ahead and fill in our given. And we're going to fill in what we're trying to prove. On this statement, these are lengths, and that's why they don't have a segment bar over the top. AC represents the measurement of segment AC, and AB is the measurement of segment AB, and BC is the measurement of segment BC. So the proper notation for this is that they do not have bars over them. So we're going to look at the picture here and look at our given. We have a segment, and it has points A, B, and C on it. And the length of AC is equal to the length of AB plus the length of BC. And this was one of the rules that we learned in Unit 1 when we were, I think it was the third day of class when we learned this. And so that is the segment addition postulate. We are adding segments together equal to a longer segment. The reason option bank, you may be using these reasons more than one time on your worksheet, so don't cross them out, but I just wanted to point out which one we're using here. Segment addition postulate. We are adding two segments equal to a longer segment. So they're just two-step proofs, and 3 of these spots are freebies. You know those just by what they gave you, and then you identify your second reason will always be one of the things out of this box. So I want you to try these out and just get the hang of the basic proof structure and the easiest types of proofs for getting ready to do longer ones on Monday.